Let's dive into a funny, and maybe a little too real, story about what makes someone, well, the perfect match.
You gotta laugh at that, right? It's just the perfect little joke. A simple question gets an answer that completely flips the script. All of a sudden, the normal rules, they just don't seem to apply anymore.
And that kind of leads us to our first big question. What is the perfect age in this story? And really, why does that punchline hit so hard?
You know, it works because it plugs right into something we all understand about value. It takes two totally different ways of measuring things, age and money, and just mashes them together. And, well, in this little showdown, one of them completely wipes the floor with the other.
This whole thing really points to something bigger, doesn't it? We kind of live in a world that's obsessed with numbers. We use these simple little metrics to size everything up, and that includes each other.
I mean, just look at that. $70 million. Seeing all those zeros laid out, it has a real weight to it, you know? It's a number so big, it can literally change how we define what's good or what we want.
And that is exactly what the joke does. The number of years a person has been alive gets totally eclipsed by the number of dollars in their bank account. One measuring stick got swapped out for another one that, at least in that moment, felt way more powerful.
So this sets up this really interesting conflict in how we think about a life. Is it all about the zeros you collect, in your bank account, on social media, whatever? Or is there a completely different way to measure it all? Maybe by the value you actually create for the people around you.
And this right here, this is where that simple little joke starts to turn into something much deeper. It's time we looked beyond those big, flashy zeros. Because hidden underneath all that humor is a really powerful idea. It kind of asks us to just take a beat and really think about what matters when everything else is stripped away. Think about that for a second. This idea just completely takes the power away from those figures. It's saying, hey, age and money, they're just labels. They're not the final word on who a person is or what they're worth. Which, of course, brings us to the heart of it all. If it's not about the numbers, then what is it about? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's all about the value you bring to the table.
And this is the main event, right here. This idea is a direct challenge to the logic of that opening joke. It's arguing that the real way to measure a life isn't about what you pile up for yourself, but what you put out into the world. It's not about what you have, it's about what you give. And what you give, that creates what we can call your impact. It's like the echo you leave behind in the world. The kindness you showed, the problems you helped solve, the people you lifted up. And unlike a bank account, that's something that can never be spent or taken away. So really, it's like a three-step shift in how you think. First, you've got to make a choice to look past the easy numbers. Then, you start focusing your energy on creating real, actual value. And finally, by doing that, you build a legacy. You create your impact.
Okay, so this brings us to our final and maybe the most important thought in all of this. What is it that actually lasts?
Just let that sink in for a minute. Every single number we chase, our age, our salary, how many followers we have, it's all temporary. It belongs to a moment in time, and you know what? Eventually, every single one of them just fades away.
But your impact, the good you put out into the world, the effect you have on other people, that's the piece of you that lives on. It echoes through the lives you touched and the things you built. That's the real legacy.
So, I'll leave you with this one question. It's a big one for sure, but it really gets to the core of everything we've talked about. When all the numbers are finally gone, what's going to be left of you?